Sci Fi Ninja Theater fans, Man Ninja Clan going strong. Parents, if you think this show is unsuitable for your child, you have the power to change the channel. Today on our show, we're showing Mike's weaponry. It's a special. Sit back and enjoy yourself. Don't touch that channel.
Hi, I'm Mike from Saluga Castle. I'm a Sci Fi Ninja fan, part of the Mad Ninja Clan. Sci Fi Ninja rules.
I see you got yourself a Sci Fi Ninja Theater shirt, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, I'm a fan. Hi, I'm going to talk to you about my collection. This is the Red Witch, and she's from Marvel, and about 10 years old, I'd say, something like that by now. And love the way he looks up at the camera, you know?
Hello? And what is that?
It's a puffer fish. It blows itself up to scare its enemies, not to mention the spines. I believe it's the puffer fish that is a delicacy in Japan, but if it's not served correctly, it'll kill you. So this here is a whale rib bone, prehistoric whale rib. That's why it's so black like this. And I picked that up on the shore in Florida. This came in with the tide. This is a prehistoric horse tooth. See the top of the tooth looking there, and it would sit right into the jaw. This is a sea worm. Actually, what's left after the sea worm is dissolved, the minerals fall into place and leave this crustacean It's rather interesting. It looks like a little cigar. And these were around before mankind ever walked the earth. It's amazing. Some soda. Turned out that the girl gave me the article.
They should have told you something.
Yeah. Alright, so this is Barbie. I forgot what year this was, but she came out in a Halloween costume as a witch. And usually they didn't do this. And one year she was very popular, so they got a little like Salem the Cat kind of black cat trick-or-treat bag. And they did her pretty good, actually. It's the traditional Barbie smile, and that's the way witches should be depicted. It's very pretty, because there's no such thing as cold as a witch's tit, let me tell you. She's alright. This is a left-hand dagger. It's known as a left-hand dagger because your rapier is usually in your right hand. This is in your left hand. And what's special about this one, not only can you catch the blade in the quillions here, or in this ring, but this springs open. And you can catch a sword blade in here and break the sword off, or at least deter it to the side. So I thought that was a very interesting piece of weaponry for the 1600s. These are all left-hand daggers, and this is a naval cutlass from the Civil War, and this piece here is a falchion, it's called. It's very, very heavy sword. It weighs about 6 to 7 pounds, but it'll cleave a man in half if it has to. More light.
I really would like to stretch myself a little.
Deanna, if you take the bridge officer's test.
Breath smells like...
Close, Barbie.
Any smell, actually. You could close your mouth. Let's see. I think so. Clanny.
Bondage Barbie.
No headaches, palpitations,
She got
sluggishness,
Barnum Barbie with her 3 legs.
But I cannot have indigestion since I have not eaten.
malnutrition. You will build your strength and return your vitality. Whether you're a human or a spirit or some sort of monster. But current scientific methodology allows us to
Should've-
the ice of the Valorian Mountains.
As soon as I seen her, I said, "That's mine."
Are a result of prolonged exposure to harsh winter conditions.
And I am not ill.
Well, aside from your memory loss, you do not seem to have any symptoms of any illness that I am familiar with. No, you are an ice man. Now, get something to eat and a good night's rest, and I will come back tomorrow and see if your memory has
Me
begun
too.
to set.
Not exactly. He said he lost his memory, but seems to be fine otherwise. To lure
Wow, look at all of those swords and
Spears and
spears and everything.
pole out. Should have really got past you. It's the Saluga Castle security system.
An Iron Maiden.
The Iron Maiden. Oh, we have to open that up.
Unbelievable.
What's an Iron Maiden if you don't open it up? You know? Oh. Just an old.
Ow! 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 Some reason. Let's get one more.
That's where I keep my mail.
Powerpuff Girl bed sheet. For you, huh?
For me. Yeah. The only real girls in my life.
The dungeon.
The dungeon. The bedroom, actually. Ninja fans, this here is a hook knife and chain, and this would be thrown out and pulled back. You could catch your enemy by his ankle. You could do amazing pieces of martial arts with this little piece of equipment. You don't usually see this around much. I was lucky enough to get one years ago. Okay, that katana in the middle, the tallest one there, my father brought back from World War II, and that started my collection off. I always knew it was in the closet. By the time I actually got to play with it, about 11 years old, I started collecting weaponry. The black one is a ninja sword, typical ninja that you see in all of the movies. The bone-handled one is also a ninja sword. I've made that myself. It needs a little more work. The red one is a combination katana, scimitar I put together. And the black one up on top there has, I kind of styled that after the Peter Pan Captain Hook sword with the big skull for a cross guard. And a chopped up blade, because when the blade came to me it was pretty chopped up. I said, let's work with it, that's all.
Go ahead.
Okay, like this one here and this one, then there's a couple over there. They picked them out for the Buffy movies, for Angel, for Charmed. Whenever they need that occult mystical dagger, you usually find it's one of these that they pick out. And I put them in my collection a long time before they ever put them on television, so we're both thinking the same way. There is one over here that's interesting. It's an Indian assassin's dagger, and it's got a rhinoceros horn hilt, and it's held this way so that it rides down along the side of your arm so that you could come behind someone and cut their throat. That is the entire purpose of this knife. There's no other purpose but to slice an enemy's throat quietly in the dark. This one here is from 17 something or other. So I try to keep it in good condition. Though she did break once up here. The bone is a little on the horn's a little on the fragile side.
Shoot.
Again, this is a kind of left-hand dagger that was very popular in the Middle Ages. These grooves are all meant to catch a blade. They have these little teeny spikes in here on these points, and you catch the blade in there and then snap it.
It also looks like if they shoved it into you,
oh wow,
it could grab a hold of a rib and snap it too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it would definitely do a lot of damage. It's this is a reproduction, but it's a very good reproduction, I have to say. It definitely do the job.
Go.
Okay, this one was made for Hollywood to have that magical look to it that you usually see in horror movies, a kind of sacrificial blade. It's pretty good. It matches the sword up there. Also has a lightning bolt blade on it.
Wow. Go.
This is a buffalo bone, buffalo rib bone, from the thoracic vertebrae, actually, transverse processes, and it has an iron arrowhead. Now, the Indians, Native Americans, never had iron until the Dutch came. So this is definitely from around the 17th century, the 1600s, when the Dutch came and brought these iron trade points. This, we can see, goes right through the central part of this bone and hits the spinal column, right through the foramen into the spinal column itself. So this was a pretty deadly arrow shot, taking that buffalo down. These are the things you don't usually find anymore. They're just too hard to find, the bone and the arrow together. Stand is also made out of buffalo horn, but I added that later on. So she's visiting her grave. She's got her wreath with rest in pieces, and she's got a little veil on her hat, so she's in mourning. She's also wearing sandals, which I thought was really a nice touch for the funeral. Her nice lace on the arms. Very nice doll, all total. Nice concept.
Oh, go ahead.
Alright, this clown, I got into buying the dolls at one point, getting them like once every month, and I hadn't gotten him. I'm not really crazy about him, but I love his balloons. He's got little satanic looking balloons here in red and black. He's a creep looking guy, that's for sure. The little hat makes it. And this fits into his hand, but not today, I don't know. Okay, this is a sacrificial lightning bolt knife. Very futuristic, very ritualistic, very... I seen it in one monster picture, but I'm not sure which one it was already. Most of these have been in monster movies. I think it's a very unusual design. Again, you could catch a knife, you know, with your left hand with these. Very much like this one. A left-hand dagger that is made simply for the point of blocking a blade, snapping that blade off, and of course the insertion of this blade would really render your insides horribly, well, we don't have to go there.
Go.
Okay. I just picked up this bat, this mace, this club from a catalog, and it was too top heavy for me. It just hung down too. So I put a weight on the back of it and a nice fleur-de-lis spike, and now she's light as a feather. You know, it's like a baseball bat, like, you know, a little leaguer. It just doesn't even feel like it has any weight to it.
What do they call that kind of bat?
It's like probably a cordial, a club. I don't know. It's a mace. It's a mace. It's a. They called it a barbarian club actually in the catalog, but that's just Hollywood hype. This would have been called a spike cudgel back in the old days. It's where we get the word cordial from. When you have a little cordial before you have, you know, a little drink. And this was like a little drink your blood kind of. Boop. It's a little cordial. I have to show you in this book on torture a picture of the original Iron Maiden of Nuremberg. Now, according to these stories, this is almost a legend, and there was no real Iron Maiden. Some say they've seen it, some say they've never seen it, it never existed. Then there's also stories of two floating around someplace. Well, here is the Iron Maiden that belonged to Saddam Hussein's brother. This is from the newspaper. Let's see if I have the Paying You Day for Sheer Torture. And nowhere on here do I have which paper this was from. Oh well. But I kept this because having an Iron Maiden and having it since the 70s, being told it was in a carnival at one time going across the country and that it came from Europe, is very interesting to me that to have such a piece people don't even believe exists.
Start talking.
So here, though she's made out of a sheet metal on the outside and screws, the inside frame is just an old spike. See, the inside frame is all very old ironwork that's been around for a good long time. Now, some of these older spikes are square, some of these are round, and they were placed so that they wouldn't hit your vital organs. It would be horrible, but it wouldn't kill you. The idea was to keep you alive in this. Of course, there's no room in here for anyone to actually stand.
So how did you get that one?
I got it from an antique shop that picked it up from a woman who came from Europe, and she had it with her belongings. And she had sold it to a carnival, and the carnival finally went under, and the daughter of the man who ran the carnival sold it to the antique shop. He put it in his window and got very bad attitudes from people in the neighborhood in Manhattan. So he put it in the cellar, and there it stayed for like 10 years until 1972 when I picked it up. And I picked it up for a song, considering there aren't very many Iron Maidens left in the world.
And that's a real one, huh?
And this is a real one, yeah. It'll do the job, that's for sure. Okay. When I was a kid, there was a television show known as Fireball XL5. Rock and roll had just really hit the mainstream. It was the end of the 50s, the beginning of the 60s, and I still remember the song. The song from the show became a hit on the top 10 of the rock and roll music. And Fireball XL5 was real life and kind of puppetry and a very simple format for a television show, but as a little kid, this was space, this was where we were going, this was science fiction from its beginning. In here, I keep the patches from all of our space missions, from Columbia all the way back to Apollo 11, and of course Star Trek, but the International Space Command. These are all, this is Columbia. This is Skylab 2, Skylab 1. These are all almost, I don't have all of our missions, but I have an awful lot of them. And this was Dial-less shuttle when we knew we were going to go where private industry could go into space, which we still aren't really on top of yet, but we're going to get there, you'll see. Challenger, Eyes of the Night. This is Watching the Earth from Outer Space. And talk about Big Brother. These are all of our different missions we were on. Young and Griffin, Columbia, Seeds. We worked with Seeds in outer space. When we lost our teacher, we sent the teacher up and the shuttle blew up that time. That was a tragedy. Teacher in space. Navstar. Navigation anywhere on the Earth from satellite and space. Totally amazing to see how far we've come from, where's Apollo 11? There it is.
Let me zoom on that.
Here's Apollo 11. This is going back. This is when we first landed on the, we had a ship land on the moon. Amazing. And to think where we are today. This is the Klingons, and this is the Psi Corps. This one I'm not really sure about, but I know it's one of them. And of course we have Star Trek, The Next Generation. The Federation, United Federation of Planets. Then we have Tactical Command, which is really our United States service, and so is the Pacific Air Force. And they're so close in how they're put together that one has to actually wonder, are we really up there and we don't know it yet? It's where it all started. I was just a little kid, but I remember the song went something like, "We'll take a trip to Jupiter, we will be back soon, fly along the Milky Way, land upon the moon, my heart'll be a fireball, bom, 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 fireball, bom, 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 every time I look into your starry eyes." I thought that was very romantic back then, but then I was this big.
Thank you.
Before the Living Dead dolls came out, there was Lenore, the dead little girl, and her dead cat. She's got a little dead cat over here. And this doll is says issues on the back, and it came from an album from Korn. And it's like a little rock and roll memorabilia, but he just looks so dead and pathetic. I thought the two of them should stay together, and that's the way I keep them.
Go.
This is the Klingon Battler. It is used to strike, defend, but you always go on the strike with the Klingons. They're a very, very aggressive race of people, and this is one style of them. I've seen 3 or 4 styles, but this one I happen to like. It just fits your hand nice. It's not too big, it's not too small, and you can even use it with one hand if you wanted to defend yourself with one hand and use something else like the Klingon, original Klingon dagger. Shakta! I loved that. The fact that it does that. That was just an amazing thing to see on Star Trek. Very nice knife. Nice blood groove. Klingon symbol. No messing around here. Which inspired me to make my own little space daggers using computer boards and little light beads, and this way it gives you that nice outer space look, you know, something from the future, something you won't see everywhere. I'm sure there's somebody out there doing the same things I'm doing, but I'll keep coming up with something different. That's all. That's all you can do, is come up with something different each time. Make it look like it's from outer space, and it probably will be. My own little battler version, little one-handed punching, stabbing, slashing, and of course we have our little computer motherboard over here, which is, instead of just using a piece of wood, it really adds a nice touch for the modern. Of course, you got Jason's blade on one end, and these are one of a kind, and they're not for sale. Haha. They're mine. I will keep them forever. You're looking at, because there's so many of them. I can't even count them. That sounds bizarre, but what's good? These are CIA sleeve daggers, and these are lapel daggers that were actually used. This is a one-handed weapon. It took me 2 hands to open up. Very covert, very, very illegal. I have a much older version that also belonged to the OSS at one time. And the blade comes out like that. I love that. It's a real nice piece for the collection. Again, you'd never ever take this stuff in the street. Here, the newest weapons, they can't be detected on an airplane, which I don't think is a great idea, but this will definitely go right through you. And it's made of the newest materials they come out with. It's strong as steel, sharp as a razor. And here is an old piece that was used by the OSS in the Second World War. It was worn under the arm, under your suit. Never detected, and yet if it was needed, there it was. A steel spike, steel blade. Definitely no purpose but to kill. is a ruler. That's also a blade. All very covert things. Brass knuckles. Brass knuckles made from a timing chain. Ninja brass knuckles for you Sci Fi Ninja fans.
Okay, do it again.
Okay. This little package. Mini nunchucks. They serve a purpose and they're completely hidden. What else have we got in here from the spy tech world? Oh, there's always something someone hasn't seen. Here we go. My pen collection. Nothing like a couple of pens. This one is called The Godfather. Definitely does the job if you're on one of those covert operations. In fact, you have to really push down to get it in there. Every one of these pens is completely illegal. Spike. This should be another spike. This one is like a throwing spike. Rolls off your hand, right out just like a ninja star. And yet it looks like a pen. There's more to this collection than I ever... This one here is a knife. Good for the jugular vein. And looks like not a regular pen. Here. Well, yeah, well, all us guys, we need our lipstick, so we'll just open up our lipstick, and there it is. A little blade, good enough to get you right in the jugular vein. For that femme fatale out there who, this is a nice one. And the blade comes right up. Of Bruce Lee, I got back in the 70s, and he was making a movie at the time and giving out these pictures and autographing them for you. And he wrote to Merlin, hiya, Bruce Lee. And there he is. There's a signature on the bottom. And we're going to miss Bruce.
Keep up.
Jackie Chan's okay, but Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee. In there. Bathroom. It's been a good life. Okay, we have various throwing knives and concealable throwing knives. These are ninja throwing spikes. They roll off your hand and stick. These are little arrow darts serrated on the edges. Again, for very quick, fast defense. And these are a larger version of those. These are heavy duty, take you down kind of weapons. Let's see. Again, a different kind of throwing dart, very heavy. This is a much lighter version. And they roll off your hand and come out. And I used to stick them into dartboards. But this one puts pretty big holes and stuff. And they're good little defense. Something you don't usually see much anymore. These are from the 60s. Again, different throwing knives you've seen in movies. Different styles with the ribbons. You'll see usually women will take them and throw them and catch a guy in the throat. Here's another style. And what's we got here? Here's another little one. It's used for throwing, and the tassel comes behind it. Tassel is also always used as a misdirection. Here's the same kind of thing with a larger setup. This can be thrown and swung around, you know, over the head kind of thing, and let go, and the weight will take it forward and it will stick. Things you don't usually get to see much of. Those little mini files all work the same way as the little spikes. They can be thrown quite easily from the hand. They can be concealed quite easily. And not that they're deadly, but they will stop an opponent in his tracks and give you that chance to get to the next level. These are simple iron rods with spikes pointed tips that get thrown. This one here is flattened in the center to be used between the fingers on either side, so you can fight with it from either direction. Again, it can be thrown. It can all be thrown. These are regular old-fashioned steak knives that throw and hit very easily. They're very well balanced. I don't think that was what the original intention was, but they will stick when you throw them. Okay, we have push buttons that I picked up in Europe when I was there. This one has a stag hilt. These are almost impossible to get your hands on in this country because they're illegal, because they're dangerous in the wrong hands. But in the right hands of a collector, well, then this is where they belong, right in the collection. This is a NATO military one. Pretty impressive. Here it is in camouflage. Once again, they don't want these out there for the people. This is a gravity knife, and it's used by pressing here. The blade falls out and locks into place. All very concealable. This is an old parachutist knife. Folds out, folds back, locks into place. So with one hand you can cut yourself free if your parachute is caught in a tree. And it folds back up and it locks in place. Pretty interesting stuff. Saigon. Saigon don't even exist anymore. It's from the Vietnam War. Saigon and the dragon. That's a lot of good stuff. Warren Harding, when he was the president, probably one of the worst presidents we ever had. There's a Chucky knife. Not many people ever see that. This one is an old cavalry blade from the Civil War, cavalry blade. This is gold inlaid in here. And I made the cross guard like a casket shape. The wooden hilt, spike back. And this broken sword now became what they called a fighting knife. When you broke a sword, you tried to use it to, you know, as best you could. There's another one I made. It's out of a Scottish dirk. It's a 1/4 inch blade. It's nickel silver. This piece here is from Germany. It's a German silver. I thought of the idea of the groove with the chain and a little ball on top just to be cute. It's an old pirate dagger. One of those ones that didn't go down with a ship, so still in very, very good condition.
Batman stuff, huh?
Batman stuff. We got the bat knives, we got the bat axes, we got bat blades, batarangs.
Bat axe.
Daggers. These are all, I made these. This garbage all came out of jailhouses, from Rikers Island to Attica State Prison. And different relatives I had who were on the police department and worked in the prison system brought me home little pieces that they found and they confiscated off of prisoners, from broken scissors to pieces of sharpened plastic to... This is one of my favorites. It opens up like this, and you could put a cigarette or something in here and pass it to the cell next door. Even though you're locked up, you can still... This is rattlesnake and alligator and deer hoof and horn. It's a lot of different...
Say it again.
This is a German bread knife, 19th century, again with the silver from Germany. It's a lot of voodoo weaponry. Most of it's been found in cemeteries, used in different kind of voodoo. This is a railroad spike, and these are all made out of hand iron tools. This is a horseshoe. I made this horseshoe into a knife by beating it out flat. Called a sidewinder, and it's a American Indian knife that was used for throwing as well as for skinning buffalo.
So Mike, that's your collection, huh?
That's my collection, and there's so much more I can't get to, but some other day, another time. Until then, stay out there and watch Sci Fi Ninja Theater.
Hope you enjoyed Mike. Sci-Fi Ninja Theater.com, Sci-Fi Ninja Theater.com. Sci-Fi Ninja Theater fans are the best!
We're at Killer Theater. Watch Vinny's show.
Hi, Sci-Fi Ninja Theater.
You're watching Sci-Fi Ninja Theater.
Hey, hi folks, how you doing? I'm Chris from the Big Apple Conventions.
Sci-Fi Ninja Theater, Chiller Theater, 2002, October. Sci-Fi Ninja Theater. Hello, Sci-Fi Ninja Theater. Hello, America. New York, hello.
Sci-Fi Ninja Theater at hotmail.com. Hope you enjoyed it. Later.